A magnificent day to all of you, dear ladies and gentlemen. Education is the passport to the future, for the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. A journey of 1,000 miles, of course, starts with a single step. And today, two higher education institutions are ready to keep one important step in their academic journey. Education is power. Education is lifelong. Education is a facilitation of learning. It's the acquisition of language, knowledge, values, habits, attitudes, skills that help one transform themselves to become a better leader in life. So today, as I mentioned, these two higher education institutions are partnering together to share the gift of education with students who look forward to an international exposure in higher education. So it's a very important day to all of us, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as we, the National Institute of Business Management, would embark on a new journey, partnering with one of the best universities in Australia, the Griffith University of Australia, to provide higher education opportunities to our students. It is with great privilege that I warmly welcome you all to the official launch ceremony of the National Institute of Business Management and Griffith University of Australia in this important partnership with our two faculties of engineering and business. The National Institute of Business Management, with its legacy of over 52 plus years of excellence in the field of training and development, and its vision of becoming the best management higher education institution in Sri Lanka, offers you unmatched opportunities in the different fields of business, computing and engineering, languages, humanities, and design. In the field of education, NIBM offers the matured and employed students with the opportunity to obtain well-recognized degrees in the different fields of interests in different parts of the country. Well, with the advancements of science and technology, it is seen that a futuristic workforce is essential for the sustainable development of an economy. Thus, NIBM also established the National Innovation Center, collaborating with the private and the public sectors of the nation, providing opportunities for our students to explore the education in different fields such as humanities, design, encouraging research and development of the different sectors of the country, collaborating with the NIBM School of Computing, also in the field of big data analytics, data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. We also catered to the specific needs of the industry through the customized training programs and the consultancy assignments. And our main campus here at Colombo and the regional centers in Kandy, the Kandy Innovation Center in Peradeniya, and of course, Kurunegala, Galle, Matara are different branches of NIBM that ensure that a high quality training and higher education is available throughout the country, providing equal access to quality education through NIBM to a wider range and a greater number of our valued students. Currently, we have close to 12,000 students studying online and blended programs from the different faculties of the different branches. And in addition, when speaking of the COVID outbreak, of course, it's a globally connected world. It's a global village that we live in. So here we are joining online as well with the COVID outbreak, a lot of lessons learned. So we launched our digital campus to support our students with the distant learning opportunities that NIBM provides, and also for the international students to join with us and learn from us whilst providing an opportunity to complete their degree programs in the new normal without any delays. NIBM also works very closely with the industry professionals, focusing on developing a graduate who is a skilled professional in the industry. While we also do have an important program called the NIBM Critical Enabling Skills and Training Program, a compulsory leadership program that leads to a certificate of leadership on successful completion, with the prime aim of motivating our undergraduates of all the faculties to become skill-driven, insight-driven, and tech-driven professionals, encouraging them to become job creators rather than job seekers in the industry. Well, on the other hand, speaking of the Griffith University of Australia, Griffith University was created to be a different kind of a university, as we all know, in challenging conventions, responding to trends, and pioneering solutions through innovation, teaching, and research. Its high quality degrees are specifically designed to prepare students for the future. And at Griffith, the degrees are developed in consultation with the industry based on cutting edge research and taught by Australia's most awarded lecturers. Griffith University hosts 50,000 students across 5 different campuses in southeast Queensland, spanning 3 major cities in Queensland, Gold Coast, Logan, and Brisbane. Students choose Queensland not only for the quality education, but also for its superb tropical climate, welcoming environment, and a mixture of natural wonders and vibrant city life. So since its beginning, Griffith has been deeply connected with the Asian region, environmentally aware, open to the community, and industry focused. Always ahead of its time, Griffith introduced Australia's first degrees in the range of important areas, including the modern Asian studies and environmental science. Ranking in the top 2% of the universities worldwide, Griffith University offers degrees in architecture, construction and planning, business and government, criminology and law, education, engineering, IT and aviation, humanities, languages and social science, medicine, dentistry, health, music and performing arts, and also visual arts as well. So Griffith students gain the academic knowledge of a world-class university, as well as the skills and confidence that the employers really want. Griffith University is a signatory to the United Nations Global Compact and to the Sustainable Development Solutions Network, Australia, Pacific, Australian, New Zealand, and the Pacific Universities, commitment to the United Nations SDGs. And it also ranks highly as a young university, ranking 33rd in the 2021 QS World Rankings, and top 50 under 50 and 29th in the 2021 Times Higher Education Young University Rankings. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all the dignitaries, faculty directors, deans, heads, and all other members of the management of both National Institute of Business Management and Griffith University of Australia, presided by Dr. D.M.A. Kulasuria, the Director General of the National Institute of Business Management, Sri Lanka, His Excellency David Hawley, High Commissioner of Australia to Sri Lanka, and officials from the High Commission of Australia to Sri Lanka, Professor Caroline Evans, the Vice Chancellor and President of the Griffith University of Australia. So ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to all of you. It has been a fantastic experience working very closely with Ms. Ashini Malhotra and the academic faculty of Griffith University for the past 1.5 years to make this big day a reality to all of us as two nations. And I also extend my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Kanishka Padidilian and the High Commission of Australia in Sri Lanka for the support rendered throughout the process. Together as one big team, we've made it, and looking forward to closely working with all of you to give the best experience in terms of higher education opportunities to our students. And I'm glad to mention that today we begin this partnership with two important faculties of engineering and business. The School of Computing and Engineering will be providing the Griffith University degrees of Bachelor of Engineering Honours in Civil Engineering, Bachelor of Construction Management Honours, and Bachelor of Intelligent Digital Technologies. And the School of Business will will be providing Bachelor of Business degree with 20 different specializations to our students offered by the Griffith University, where the students can either major in one or two different majors also. So having said that, once again, a very warm welcome to all of you present here with us today. And with that note, let me take this honor to invite Dr. D.M.A. Kulasurya, the Director General of the National Institute of Business Management, to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Buddhima. So all distinguished members and the management of Griffith University and the faculty members of the Griffith University and the senior management of NIBM and faculty members of NIBM. And first of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Buddhima and the team from Griffith University, and you have been working for a long time and you made it a success. Thank you very much for all your commitments and your support to make it a great partnership. So it's very important day for all of us today. It's basically because Griffith University is first signing with NIBM to offer their higher educational products in Sri Lanka. So that's a great event, and we believe that it would be a great success in the years to come with the commitment of all of us. So if I am to talk few words about NIBM, NIBM, of course, initially started 1976. Sorry, yes, 1976, 68, and we are nearly 53 years. We would always say 53 years young. It's not, I mean, when you think about, we have been updating ourselves, we have been changing ourselves. And in fact, we started as a ILO project under the Ministry of Industrial Development and Scientific Affairs. And it's fully owned by the government. But of course, I would like to say that we don't depend on the treasury of the government, and we are a self-financing institution. And we do believe that the quality of education at NIBM, we have started a lot of programs, and we would like to learn best practices from best universities in the world and to support our students to develop their new skills so that they would become a global citizens. So as you know, the trend is different nowadays, and we think that we need to develop some values in the minds of our students, plus the global knowledge, so that they would be able to perform better in different industries here in Sri Lanka, as well as other parts of the world. So that's how we have designed our academic process in such a way that they would develop the thinking capacity and execution capacity, and finally is the quality of that they deliver. So we always believe the fact that quality graduates would be able to provide better solutions for the people in the country and the communities, and different solutions at global levels. And if they can think better, and if they can produce better solutions, of course, they would have a better life in the years to come. So therefore, we are really committed on this. And I think that just to give you some information, I think Dr. Buddhima also explained. And we do have different faculties. One is School of Computing, School of Business, and we have design faculty, languages, different languages, and our network is throughout the country. So, and the setting is, of course, we train nearly 15,000 students here at NIBM annually, and 50% of them are professionals. It means we are doing upskilling and reskilling. So that part is very important, basically because our thinking is we need to learn what are the changes that are taking place in the industry, and we need to enroll school leavers and develop their skills in such a way that they are really fit into the industry. So we get the support of inputs from industry, and we try to develop our courses in such a way that it gives the better experience for our students so that they can perform better in industry. So that's how we linked up. That's our value chain from the end to end. Like we are starting from the schools, it goes up to the industries, and they can go up to the different levels of competencies Starting from a simple certificate, they can go up to the masters. Of course, we are not just started our PhDs. We are in the process of discussing with universities to offer PhDs here in Sri Lanka through NIBM. So that is how our academic model is setting here in Sri Lanka. We have been working with different universities in the world, and this is the first time. Of course, we have partners in UK, but this is the first time UK. This is the first time. Is it's the Deakin University we are working with, and Griffith University. I think this is your presence first time here in Sri Lanka, and I'm 100% confident that you'll be able to make this a great success. And that's the history of NIBM, because we would like to invest whenever we work with partners, and we believe that the exclusive partnership will give a better experience for us. We can invest more, and we can get the lot of students, so that we will be able to make this a great success. So that is how we work. So we would like to work on this process. If I'm to talk about this partnership with other universities, we started with 10, 20 like this, and so now we have hundreds, and some of course universities, they are getting 500, 600 students. And if you take the international market here in Sri Lanka for higher education, yeah, we have been witnessing that nearly 15,000 students go abroad from Sri Lanka for their high studies in the past, but now it is growing fast. And we have seen this large number of would like to join international universities and get the exposure, so that they would be able to work globally. So that's the trend. I think we are signing this partnership is a very important time, basically because most of the students now they are looking for higher education in global universities, globally ranked universities. So Griffith is one of the best universities in Australia. And I think if you looked at all the other universities here operating here in Sri Lanka, and Griffith is the number one, and we would be able to market your courses here in Sri Lanka easily, basically because ranking matters a lot for our parents in Sri Lanka. They always look for ranking, the value of it, and the recognition of the certificate. And those are three areas that they would like to look for. So I think we have a cutting edge over here, basically because Griffith University will play a very unique role here in Sri Lanka in the years to come. And I think our faculty members from different faculties, they are prepared to work with the Griffith University. And I hope that faculty of Griffith University, and not only for, just for training and, developing our students, but we would like to work in a more collaborative manner in the years to come, because we would like to, train our faculty in your university. We would like to, arrange some different aspects of academic activities from the Griffith University, so that we can get better experience for our faculty also. Then the first 2 years would do a great way, so that I think Griffith University can present it and fitting our students to your last 2 years. Our academic model in terms of first 2 years, of course, we do for school leavers full time, and the last 2 years, of course, we do part time. So there's no much issue for us here also. The first 2 years we do full time, and they get prepared, to work in industries also by that time. So that we call it the 2+2 here in Sri Lanka also. So they join industries, they do their degree part time, so that they are fully equipped when you get the degree. So that's the reason as to why our employability rate is nearly 95%. And we are very keen on this, basically because when they are getting the degree, they are prepared to work in industries, and they have experience nearly 2 years. As a result, and their companies and their leaders, they would like to buy our students, basically because they are experienced graduate. So that's a unique model here. If you looked at all the national universities, government universities in Sri Lanka, that is, they once they get the degree only, they can start working. So our model is different from them, so that we have a cutting edge over that as well. So we have seen this. We are becoming, most of the, preferred institution for their higher education in Sri Lanka. And even in the pandemic, we have been performing very well. If I'm talking about during the crisis, and we have a digital campus, and we call NIBM Digital Campus. We designed and developed this digital campus before the pandemic. And with this crisis, and we had no much issues basically because of the our capabilities in terms of technology to mount all our students online. So we mounted all our students. We had some issues basically because it's a first time experience for some of the students at the beginning. Later on, they got used to it, and we supported the students also by providing free data and various ways. We encourage them to learn things on online. And I would like to, suggest, and this is the first, level of, operation of ours. We would like to, introduce some online courses from Griffith here in Sri Lanka through our digital campus, because most of our students are got used to it. Then, of course, the first 2 years also, you can do it here. And if they wish, they can join, or otherwise they can complete here in Sri Lanka. That's the, full model and that we are having. I would like to request from the management of Griffith to think about it, and while you are working for the first level of operations. So I'd like to thank all of you once again. Thank you very much to making this a great success. And our faculty members, Dr. Buddhima, and all of them work hard to make sure that this is a great success. And this is, of course, a starting point as my thinking. We are signing today, but a lot of work to be done in the years to come. To make it a success, of course, we need to work hard. We need to understand each other. And then, of course, we can work together to market ourselves as a great partnership in the world. So thank you very much once again, all the members coming from Griffith University. We would like to, once the pandemic over, we would like to visit you and see physically. And then, of course, we can get a better idea of your facilities and the other aspect of the academic activities. So I'd like to conclude here while wishing all of you a great day. And I hope that this partnership, and we are fully committed on this from the top management of NIBM, I'd like to place my assurance that we will take this forward and make sure that it will be a great success like you do in other countries. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you very much. And that was the pillar of strength of the National Institute of Business Management, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. D.M.A. Kulasurya, the Director General of the National Institute of Business Management, Sri Lanka. Thank you very much, sir. And it's always a great encouragement that you give all of us to keep steps to make sure that we provide the best and the best of the higher education opportunities to our students. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us now take a moment to have a look at the National Institute of Business Management profile video.
The world moves forward with time, leaving its mark in this infinite universe. In this world glitters the pearl of the Indian Ocean. You are now entering the perfect city of NIBM. It is a city of the future, ensuring your freedom. It is a city of hearts, placing no restriction on your thoughts and teaching you to love the world as a whole. It is a city guiding you to rightful technology and making you understand the value of education. This is that city's greatest school of higher education. Come, let us now enter NIBM. School of Computing, a high-tech mission containing the modern society of computer revolution and all information related to it. NIBM also houses computer laboratories, libraries, lecture halls and auditoriums equipped with the latest technology. School of Engineering, the workstation encompassing the most developed and sharpest sectors in the future world of work. School of Business, door to the path leading to success in the world of business. School of Design, the sky that creates endless stars in a galaxy of fashion and interior decor. School of Language. The most beautiful journey of learning to understand people and the universe. World-recognized degree programs of this nature are not only available at the main campus of NIBM, located in Colombo 7, and the National Innovation Center located in Colombo 5, but also in the main cities of Galle, Kandy, Kurunegala, and Mathura. NIBM has revolutionized the traditional education system, which restricted students to their classrooms, and is now unconditionally supporting the different extracurricular activities that develop the talents of their students. NIBM has a stable capital and comprises a management in the international level, equipped to carry out all operations in the most fit and proper manner. The said capacity is completely invested to expand knowledge of many children who have been engulfed in the traditional education system. As NIBM is a higher education institute owned by the government of Sri Lanka, students and their parents can place their complete trust on the institution. Therefore, the doors of NIBM would always affectionately be open to the youth representing generations who will be the winners of tomorrow, entering the city of the future along the path of freedom, love, and fellowship. Leadership, stability, quality, technology, and innovation together creates a smart student population for a smart era. For a smart era is the path to success, the modern thinking of NIBM. NIBM, powering great minds.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me now take the honor and privilege to invite Professor Carolyn Evans, the Vice Chancellor and President of the Griffith University of Australia, to address the gathering.
Thank you very much, and greetings from Griffith here in Queensland, Australia. My name is Carolyn Evans. I'm the Vice Chancellor and President of Griffith University, and it's a great privilege to be with you here today. In Australia, we have a tradition of acknowledging the traditional people whose lands we're meeting on. That's the Aboriginal or the Torres Strait Islander people. And here I'm in the lands of the Turrbal and the Yagara people, and I pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and acknowledge the wisdom that we gain from the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people of Australia. And that's a beautiful culture and legacy that we're also very excited to share with students who come to visit us from all over the world. Director General, thank you for that wonderful explanation of NIBM, which makes me just even more confident about the good fit of this partnership and excited about the future. Thank you to your colleagues and to all of the distinguished faculty who've worked so hard to make this relationship come to fruition. I'd like to thank and acknowledge also my colleagues and the members of faculty who are here with us today, and of course His Excellency Mr David Holly, the High Commissioner of Australia to Sri Lanka, and colleagues from Austrade. We are very grateful for your support to make sure that this partnership could happen. It has been a very difficult 2 years for so many people around the world, and COVID in many ways seems to have driven us further apart. And so it is wonderful to be celebrating today the opportunity to come together again, to form new relationships and new partnerships, new ways of doing things with people that we share so much in common with. Like your venerable institution, Griffith is now approximately 50 years old, a little bit younger than you. We had our first students in 1975. We have a strong commitment to innovative teaching, to partnership with industry, to trying to ensure that we create graduates who are ready for the future. We acknowledge that future will be complex, challenging, often multidimensional. It will require people with excellent technical skills. And we believe our students, particularly in the disciplines that you are partnering with us in, have absolutely world-class skills and often are recognised by accreditation in various other parts of the world. But they will also need human skills. They will need to be able to deal with ambiguity and change. They will need emotional intelligence, and they will need ethical parameters in order to navigate the many challenges that that generation is going to have to face. And here at Griffith, we're committed to doing all of those things. We believe that it is incredibly important that young people from different countries come together to meet one another, to learn with one another, to learn from one another. And that has been part of the Griffith ethos since the day that we were founded. Indeed, as was said in the very generous comments at the start, Griffith has been an Asia-focused university from day one. We had 4 faculties when we began, and one of them was in modern Asian studies. This was unprecedented in Australia at the time. But we knew Australia's future was in our geographic neighbourhood with the people of Asia, and that's remained an incredibly important priority for us. We have students from 119 countries currently studying at Griffith. This includes some wonderful students from Sri Lanka, who of course can also tap in to the broader Sri Lankan Australian community, which plays such a wonderful role here in Australian society. But this, as was said, will be our first formal partnership with Sri Lanka, and we really believe we could not have chosen a better partner to enter into a relationship with. We have so much in common in terms of values, in terms of prioritising education, and it was wonderful to see that on your video, also recognising that education is of the whole person, the mind, the intellect, of course, and the skills, but also of the person in relationship to others, in having sporting opportunities, cultural opportunities. And indeed, if you come to our campuses in Australia, and I really do look forward to welcoming you once that's a possibility to do, we have these extraordinary cutting edge, high-tech facilities, but they're in such places of natural beauty. And on our Nathan and Mount Gravatt campuses, for example, you can see koalas sometimes, goannas, native Australian animals, which I know is a great thrill for students who come from all across the world to see us. So we are really looking forward to welcoming your students to our campuses. We are looking forward, I hope, one day to coming and being able to see you as well and creating that personal relationship that we know drives so much innovation and research. And as the Director General rightly said, will allow us to take the next steps along the path, of which this, we hope, is only the first step. We will welcome them into a range of key disciplines, including engineering, intelligent and digital technologies, construction management, and business. We are committed to ensuring their experience at Griffith will make your students able to develop into graduates confident to face the future, having had a first-rate education in your country and in ours, which will make them global citizens. And we all know that that is what the world will need in the future. It is a great honour for me to be signing this letter of agreement with you today to officially launch our joint program. I regret that I'm going to have to step out after this signing because I have another launch that I have to be part of. But I do look forward, as soon as is possible, to welcoming you to our campuses, to welcome your students to our campuses, digital, physical, and to one day being able to visit you also. So without any further ado, may I suggest that we now sign our agreement and make this partnership official. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. And as I say, my apologies that I now need to briefly step out.
Rudaba, you are on mute. You're on mute, I think. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor Carolyn Evans, the Vice Chancellor of the Griffith University of Australia, and Dr. D.M.A. Kulasurya, the Director General of the National Institute of Business Management, for signing the agreement officially in this important partnership of the National Institute of Business Management and the Griffith University of Australia. Thank you so very much. So here we begin the partnership officially and commence all our work from today. So ladies and gentlemen, let us now take this opportunity to listen to Professor Sarah Todd, the Vice President Global of Griffith University of Australia, to address the gathering. Over to you, Professor Sarah.
Thank you, and thank you very much for the opportunity to contribute to today's event. I too would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land. I am today based in my Gold Coast office, so as you're aware, Griffith University has campuses in the Gold Coast, Logan and Brisbane, and today I'm on the Gold Coast, so it's lovely to be joining you. Interestingly, something popped up in my diary earlier, and it turns out that 3 years ago exactly, I was actually in Sri Lanka. So it's a small world, and funny to think that on this day in November in 2018, with no idea that that would be my last trip to Sri Lanka for some time, that I was in Sri Lanka. And I can only say how much I am looking forward to returning to Sri Lanka when travel restrictions are eased and the pandemic permits. As you would have heard, this is something that Griffith is fully committed to extending and developing partnerships in Sri Lanka. And that's actually what I was doing when I was there in 2018, was looking at opportunities as well as meeting with the University Grants Commission, actually, as we were entering into a PhD scholarship program with the Sri Lanka University Grants Commission. I too would like to acknowledge and thank Dr. D.M.A. Kulasurya for your very kind comments and remarks. You gave me a real sense of NIBM and all that you stand for. I would definitely agree that 53 years is young, and I'm with you on that. I'd also like to acknowledge His Excellence David Holly and thank him for joining us today. I know, can only imagine how busy your schedule is, and I'd like to take the opportunity to both acknowledge colleagues from Austrade joining us today, but also thank them for the role that they have played in facilitating this partnership. It is always good to have friends on your side when you develop an international partnership, and particularly when travel is difficult and we can't have those face-to-face meetings. So having the support of Austrade has really made a difference as we've worked through and got to the point that we are today. Dr. Kulasurya, I also agree with you that this is only the start, and there are many areas for Griffith to collaborate going forward. So although we're signing an agreement today around these 4 programs in Griffith Sciences and Griffith Business School, I know that there are many opportunities for Griffith to collaborate with you and NIBM going into the future. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank Ashini, Delhi-based Regional Director for South Asia, and I know Ashini, right up until just before the ceremony, you've been pivotal in both facilitating the agreement around the academic side and working with colleagues here at Griffith, but also working on the logistics, and thanks to the international partnerships team here at Griffith, and also thanks to NIBM. There are many things we can do virtually, but sometimes actually face-to-face signing ceremonies are easier to organise than virtual ones. But I am delighted that we could still mark the significance of this occasion today. I'd like to acknowledge that Professor David Grant, our Pro-Vice Chancellor of Griffith Business School, is with us today, as are colleagues from both the Business School and Griffith Sciences. This really is a significant day for us as we sign this agreement, and that is reinforced by the range and number of colleagues that I'm joined by today. So thank you to everybody. This Griffith University, since its inception, has been committed to social justice and equity, and developing pathways that enable access for both domestic and international students to access a international world-leading higher education experience. And I see this pathway and this program that we're signing an agreement around today is just another part of that commitment and very consistent with our values. And I can assure colleagues at NIBM that we will be working hard to support you as you promote the program, although I think Dr. Badima Silvasinger, I think we need you to promote and recruit. You did a great job of introducing Griffith University at the beginning. I feel there's nothing left for me to say about the university. So wonderful to know that we have you in Sri Lanka on our side as we promote this program to students. I very much look forward to welcoming students coming through this pathway to Griffith, hopefully in the not too distant future. Sri Lankan students make up a small but significant part of our international student cohort at Griffith, and I'm delighted that we will be able to welcome additional Sri Lankan students to our student cohort. I'm also excited about the opportunities for collaboration around Griffith students having the opportunity to spend time in Sri Lanka as well. It's a destination for our students that is fast growing in popularity, and would be really interested, as I know Shelley and her team would be, thinking about opportunities and how we might work together to provide additional experiences for our students. So I think there's been a lot of speeches, but the really significant part will be now that we start to put this agreement in action. And I am going to thank in advance colleagues in the academic areas for that, because that's they really get to do the work there. But I know that everybody has been incredibly supportive. As soon as this partnership was suggested to us, it's been something that everybody across Griffith has embraced, and everybody in different parts of the university have worked hard to make sure that we can get to today. And this is a significant step, but that we look forward to seeing students actually taking part in the program, welcoming students, but also our academic colleagues collaborating together to support students on that pathway. So thank you very much from me, and I believe that His Excellence David Holly has agreed to say a few words, so I will hand over to him.
Thank you very much, Professor Sarah Todd, for your remarks. And it's of course wonderful working with all of you, and looking forward to strengthen this partnership, as you mentioned, looking forward to take great steps in the future with Griffith University to provide more opportunities for our students as well. Thank you so very much once again. So ladies and gentlemen, let us now take the honor to invite His Excellency David Holly, the High Commissioner of Australia to Sri Lanka, to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Silvasinger. And Ayavawan, Vanakkam, Assalamu alaikum, good morning and good afternoon. This is a wonderful opportunity, and congratulations to the National Institute of Business Management and also to Griffith University on this pathway partnership launch today. I commend Mr. Chotsky, Dr. Kulasuria, Professor Evans and Professor Todd for their vision in taking forward this, I guess, trust in a time of COVID-19 to expand what is another strong partnership for Griffith University. And could I also just acknowledge all the other delegates that are here today, and also the role that Austrade has played in supporting the strengthening of this new partnership of education between Australia and Sri Lanka. Griffith University is no stranger to Sri Lanka. The research and collaboration that has taken place between our countries, the student engagement that we have heard of has been going on for many years. But the partnership with the National Institute of Business Management is a decisive step in Griffith University's journey here in Sri Lanka. It's a partnership that is signed today that joins with another 26 other collaborations between Sri Lanka and Australian institutions, with around 4,000 students studying in Sri Lanka Australian courses, ranging from secondary to vocational to graduate and postgraduate work and through our universities. What's been done today forms one of 4 key pillars of Australia's engagement in education in Sri Lanka. First pillar in terms of development assistance on skills, particularly in the tourism sector. Second pillar on skills, content and policy development. The third pillar being partnerships, of which this is an important one, and having more in-country education delivered. Particularly, we have seen the importance of that grow during COVID-19. And the fourth pillar, work that we are doing with the Sri Lankan government to encourage its vision of Sri Lanka being a regional education hub for South Asia, Africa and the Middle East. I've been briefed on the initial course offerings that will be part of this new partnership, and all are subjects that are in demand. And I think it gives great confidence going forward in terms of attracting the students that you are hoping to bring success to the partnership, but also I think give you confidence to be able to think about future course offerings in the future. And I was very pleased to hear from Professor Todd that that is something that's been looked at, and also from Dr. Kalasuria, because I think that is something that will drive and continue to strengthen the partnership that is here today. So just in conclusion, I see this as a very important milestone in the continued strengthening of the Australia-Sri Lanka education relations between our two countries, and significantly another milestone as we reach 75 years of bilateral relations in 2022. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency David Hawley, for your address. And of course, we are very much privileged and honored to have you with us today. And we sincerely thank the support received by the High Commission of Australia, and looking forward to receive the same support in the future as well, as we strengthen the partnerships with Australia and providing more opportunities for our students to take higher education opportunities from Australia. And ladies and gentlemen, let us now move forward with Ms. Monica Kennedy, the Senior Trade Commissioner or the Head of Education of South Asia of Austrade, to address the gathering. Over to you, Ms. Monica.
Thank you, and thank you so much for having me along today. I too would like to start in the way that we do in Australia by acknowledging the traditional custodians of our land. I'm joining you from Canberra today. It's the land of the Ngunnawal people, and I pay my respects to the Ngunnawal people, their elders past, present and future. I'd also like to acknowledge the group of very senior people who are joined together to celebrate this signing today. Professors Evans and Todd, in particular from Griffith. It's a great day for celebration, and it's wonderful to listen to your presentations here today and to hear the warmth with which you speak about this relationship. Certainly from NIBM, it's wonderful to meet you, Dr. Kulsaria. We haven't met yet, and I look forward to meeting you there in Sri Lanka. When I join post, I'll be arriving in Mumbai to take up my post on the 24th of November. And very soon after, I'll be coming across to meet with you in person. I'd also like I'm delighted to meet actually Dr. Budima Subisinghe, who is a star in Austrade Shine Australia campaign. If you haven't seen her in the campaign shorts, please go and have a look at our Study Australia website, because she represents Australia-Sri Lanka relationships and possibilities in a way that's very compelling. I'd also like to, of course, give my respects to and acknowledge His Excellency Mr. David Hawley, our High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, and also give my great thanks to my colleague in Austrade, Kanishka Padidilian, who has been a great support to us, and I love to hear of the way that he's been able to support the relationship between Griffith and NIBM in forming this relationship. It certainly has been difficult times, and it's great to be at this time when we're emerging and building new opportunities and partnerships. And I think that this signing demonstrates the possibility of partnership, the partnership between institutions of esteem and of high standards, where we can have confidence in collaboration with peers. These kind of collaborations provide new opportunities for students to extend their own pursuits and to contribute to the workplaces of the future, in this case, in the physical sciences and in business, to improve productivity and to support design of our futures together. There's these partnerships are new ways of connecting education with industry globally, and they have enormous potential. I was really heartened to hear the DG speak about the development of deep and wide partnerships, because these are the partnerships that endure. When Dr. Kulasuria was speaking about looking for further opportunities for engagement with Griffith, it made me think about the ways in which these relationships can blossom and bloom when they are deep and trusting and confident relationships. Sri Lankan students in Australia are known for their hard work, their dedication, their quality, and their presence at many educational institutions around the country have made such a valuable contribution to the vibrancy of our campuses and to Australia's rich and diverse society. So I'm really glad that you had me along today. It's great to be here to witness this further step in the strengthening of the Australia-Sri Lanka education relationship and its focus on quality. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Ms. Monica Kennedy, for being with us. It's a great privilege and an honor, and we sincerely thank the High Commission of Australia to Sri Lanka and also Mr. Kanishka Padidilian for his support that has been rendered to make this important relationship a success. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us now take this opportunity.
Let me leave the meeting. I have some other engagement. Thank you very much for all of it. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for being with us. It's indeed a great privilege and an honor. Once again, Dr. D.M.A. Kulasuria, the Director General of NIBM. Thank you very much for being with us. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us now move forward with the next item on the agenda. Let us hear it from Mrs. Gangani Wickramasinghe, the Director of the School of Computing and Engineering of the National Institute of Business Management. Over to you, Ms. Gangani Wickramasinghe.
Thank you, Buddhiba. Good afternoon, everybody. It's indeed a pleasure to be part of this event today. It is actually a very special day for us at School of Computing and Engineering. And actually, the School of Computing signed its first partnership in 1996. That was 25 years back. So since then, we've been partnered with many universities, and we are proud to say that we have been very successful with the partnerships that we've had, and we have been constantly learning from our partners, learning the best practices, and trying to give our students the international sort of exposure that is required out of computing engineering students. So actually, we are very privileged, and we are very honored to partner with a prestigious university such as Griffith University. So with this partnership, actually, the engineering school at SOCE, we actually conduct HND in that is Higher National Diploma in IoT Engineering, and we have quantity surveying. So these students actually have a very good opportunity now to complete their degree with Griffith University, because these are actually the type of degrees that are in high demand globally, and I'm sure our Sri Lankan students will take this opportunity and make avail of this opportunity and get a good internationally recognized degree from Griffith University. So I don't want to actually take much of your time because we've been actually having many speakers today. So actually, I'm very confident that this partnership will be successful, and we will be, as a faculty, we will definitely be committed towards this partnership to ensure that this will be a very successful and very fruitful partnership. So thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Kangani Vikramasinghe, for your remarks. And it's always a privilege and an honor to have you with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us now move on to Mr. Kolita Ranawaka, the Director of the School of Business of the National Institute of Business Management, to address the gathering. Over to you. Mr. Kolita, you're muted.
Thank you, Buddhima. His Excellency David Hawley, the Australian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, the dignitaries, colleagues from the Griffith University, colleagues from NIBM. I think this is a remarkable occasion for both Griffith University as well as the National Institute of Business Management, popularly known as NIBM. I'm representing the NIBM School of Business, and the NIBM School of Business is as old as NIBM. So we have been operating for the last 50 odd years and been having partnerships with several European universities, I should say, and also one or two Malaysian universities. But I think this partnership that we just commissioned today would be really a different partnership. I think this is the first arrangement of this kind where our students would study here for a couple of years, maybe 2 years, and then would transfer to a foreign university and would then graduate from that university and would really be engaged in that culture, in that country, that environment. Might be with the employers in that other country as well. So this is, I think, a remarkable occasion for NIBM as well as for NIBM School of Business. And I hope, like, I think almost all the speakers here were talking about the kind of benefits that the students would be getting out of this partnership. So I do not want to repeat the same, and I do agree with all these speakers. In addition to that, I also would see a few other avenues where, as the Dean of the faculty here, I would propose that we could also go for research partnerships, student exchange programs, and various other kinds of collaborations on top of this partnership that we started for sending students over there to complete their bachelor's in different areas in business. So that is something additional I could bring from my side. And I hope, like, this partnership would grow year by year and become a kind of a giant partnership in the future. And from the School of Business at NIBM, we would put our fullest effort to promote the partnership and to make sure this partnership would be a wonderful partnership between, not only between two institutions, but between two countries. So I hope everyone would be now kind of, looking forward for action on top of all the talking that we're now here. So let's from the next minute, next hour, let's start up. And I'm pretty sure that we would have greater results for both sides. Thank you so much and have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kolita Ranawaka, the Director of School of Business, for your remarks. And it's a privilege to have you with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us now move forward to Professor Sarah Todd, the Vice President Global of the Griffith University of Australia, for additional closing remarks. Over to you, Professor Sarah Todd.
Thank you. I'm going to take Mr. Kolita Ranawaka's comments to heart and say enough of the speeches and more of the action. I'm very mindful of time. I think we've just managed to fit within the hour that we allocated, so well done to everybody for the timekeeping and the time management. Simply to say thank you again to everybody involved. This has been a lovely event this afternoon in our case, and the morning in Sri Lanka. Lovely to see some faces and put some faces to the names, but really excited about when we have a meeting in the future, whether it's virtual or whether it's in Sri Lanka or whether it's here in Australia, but where we can talk about what's happening. So thank you to everybody involved. I know how much goes on. I get to sign the agreement. That's the easy part. I know how much discussion there's been, how much academic credit, and looking at all of those options and what are the best pathways for students. I think we've already started talking today about future areas for collaboration, which is fantastic. I'm all about active partnerships and mutually beneficial partnerships. So I'm confident that this will be one of those, and thank you very much to everybody involved.
Thank you so very much, Professor Sarah Todd, for your closing remarks. And I would like to extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to all those who are present here with us today, representing the Griffith University of Australia and also the National Institute of Business Management, our heads and directors of the faculties and also the administration, and all the members of the staff for being with us today to become a great support and a strength to make this important virtual launch of the NIBM and the Griffith University partnership a great success. And also extending my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Ms. Ashini Malhotra, Mr. Kanishka Patidilian, and also Mrs. Gangani Vikramasinghe, Mr. Kolita Ranawaka, and Professor Irvin Ho from Griffith University for being with us throughout over the past 1.5 years, engaging in a lot of conversations and making sure that this important day becomes a reality, and extending my heartfelt thanks to the High Commissioner of Australia to Sri Lanka, His Excellency David Hawley, for being with us today, and also the Vice Chancellor of Griffith University of Australia and the Director General of the National Institute of Business Management for presiding this very important occasion, being a great strength to all of us. So ladies and gentlemen, here we officially announce the launch of the NIBM Griffith University partnership with the business and the engineering faculties of the National Institute of Business Management and the Griffith University of Australia. Looking forward to work with all of you hand in hand and supporting one another and making sure we provide the best opportunities for our students in terms of higher education opportunities that we will be providing with these two faculties. And as was mentioned, we look forward to strengthen this partnership between the two countries and also with Griffith University of Australia to provide more opportunities in the future as well. Thank you very much once again, ladies and gentlemen. Signing off, I'm Dr. Buddhima Subasinghe, the Head of Student Life and Engagement of the National Institute of Business Management. Thank you.